How is it going, everybody? This is Shay D of Shay D Horror back with another watch and review. Today it is Spiral from the Book of Saw, and this is the Steelbook edition. Let's go ahead and get into the synopsis of this. A criminal mastermind unleashes a twisted form of justice in Spiral, the terrifying new chapter from the Book of Saw. Working in the shadow of his father, an esteemed police veteran, played by Samuel L. Jackson, brash detective Ezekiel Zeke Banks, played by Chris Rock, and his rookie partner, played by Max Minghella, take charge of a grisly investigation into murders that are eerily reminiscent of the city's gruesome past. Unwittingly entrapped in a deepening mystery, Zeke finds himself at the center of the Killed's morbid game. Really cool artwork on this one and a lot of awesome special features. Lionsgate knocks it out the park with this release of this steelbook, in my personal opinion. So let's go ahead and get into the review of this. This is Spiral. This is from the year 2021, originally slated for the year 2020, but it was, you know, held up due to the pandemic. It is rated R. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 33 minutes, and it is put out by good old Lionsgate Entertainment. This is a second time watch for me, the first time being a few months ago. But since I got this badass steelbook, I thought, why not give it a review? I'm a fan of the Saw franchise. Of course, I have my favorites, but although this one gets some hate, to me, it's a good addition. I like this film as well. A cool carnival setting and scene to start this off, and it goes underground, a gritty and grimy subway, and this gets off to a brutal and gory start. A great opening scene, in my humble opinion. The comedy is there with Chris Rock. The dialogue about Forrest Gump is funny in the beginning. Pretty much right after the credits, it gets into that. Now, this is a side story style movie, but it hits the Saw franchise tropes well. Although it for sure has its own vibe and tone. It definitely has its own look about it, even too. It's well directed and it looks clear, and the colors and tones pop, and the gore is also there. The detective angle is there as well, and I gotta say, on this rewatch, I like it even more. It's Chris Rock being Chris Rock, but in a horror flick. To me, it's entertaining. It does what a Saw film is supposed to do, and I also like the hip hop slash R&B soundtrack, especially that song at the end, that 21 Savage song where he kind of flips the Saw theme and makes a song out of it. It's kind of cool, actually. It fits the tone and the city. There is a twist, like pretty much every Saw movie, so it was cool to revisit this and watch it play out, knowing some of the turns that it takes. Some of the lines and dialogue hit different, knowing that, and it's cool. Most like any other Saw film or something like Seven, almost. It has some Seven type vibes to it, too. I like that I can just watch this one on its own. Like it's connected to the Saw films, yet sort of its own thing. The formula is all here for Spiral as well. It's a fun one to me, yet it still has the mystery and the gore, and of course, the traps. And don't forget, Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson is in here also. The pig mask looks great in here as well, and I think the traps deliver some brutal kills like a Saw movie should have. And yeah, I like the storyline of this one as well. With that being said, I think that the 11th Saw film is now slated for a 2025 release instead of 2024. 2024 has already been a great year for film. I may add, I've seen lots in theaters already, and I'm ready for more. Late Night with the Devil was fantastic. The First Omen was solid. Tarot and Imaginary were fun, and I'm going to see the new Strangers movie in a couple of days. I'm loving 2024 so far, and there's tons of stuff coming out. Epic movies, prequels, Mad Max, and of course, Godzilla and all those, and King Kong, and just there's a lot of stuff, but especially horror. But back to Spiral. I think this movie is well paced also, and I do like the cast and the performances. And this steelbook, this actual release is badass from artwork to special features and all. It's solid. Good old Lionsgate. And I did watch all the special features. There's quite a bit of special features, and it kind of helps you understand the direction they wanted to go with this, how it's from the Book of Saw. Like, it's not a Saw movie, yet it is. It's kind of doing its own thing. I like where they explain some of the music choices, some of the comedy choices, and just all around why they made this movie and how it all came together. It's pretty interesting if you have this to check out those special features. Myself, I thought it was pretty freaking cool. Maybe some don't like this because they're not a Chris Rock fan, or maybe because it's a side story style movie, but to me, it is fun. And it does deliver while also managing to do its own thing. Again, the shit is entertaining to me. It kind of flew by for me too, also on this second go round. I can understand why some wouldn't care for this, but to me, Saw and its many sequels and this being like a side story are pretty solid, and they stick to their formula for the most part. There's some cool imagery in here, from locations in a gritty city to some solid practical gore effects. Do y'all love this one? Do y'all hate this one? Are you somewhere in the middle? As you know by now, I like this one. Like, I enjoyed it, especially after watching the special features and, that kind of stuff, which I always like to do, when they have special features. It helps you understand, the angles, the directors, the writers, the choices they make, going into a movie. It makes it more interesting, of course, after watching the film. If someone has time, I think it's always cool to have special features and to just delve deeper, into the story and the behind the scenes stuff of how everything comes together. Uh, I like this one after hearing mostly negative things about it. When I finally watched it just a couple of months ago, I thought it was solid and for sure better than what some were saying. This one has some brutal traps in it, like back to basic but cool type traps. Uh, the blues and greens are in some scenes, all the colors as well, like the Saw type stuff. But then this one also has other shots where it utilizes the daytime and shows like how hot it is. Like, people are sweating. It's like in the midst of summer, like the hottest time of the year. But it does have its own look, although it does have looks that pertain to Saw for sure. Um, I think this movie also unravels well. I legit had fun with it. The spiral aspect of the story is kind of cool too. I like what they did with that for the whole copycat style side story vibe of it. A reference to the original film in here also, and the ending. I like how it ends in typical twist Saw franchise fashion. I like the traps in this one, some crazy shit, and all in all, to me, this one is entertaining. Okay, everybody, this has been Shay D of Shay D Horror, and I will be back here hopefully in not too long. Today, this was Spiral from the Book of Saw.